Why wouldn't the Warriors be desperate to get Gary Payton II back in the lineup? He's a 6'3", 200-pound guard whose skill continues to get finer like wine with age. But even though that's true, his stats aren't exactly jumping off the stat sheets. In his professional career of 179 games, he's only averaged 5.3 points, 2.7 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 1.0 steals, and 0.3 blocks per game. There must be something millions of people may have overlooked. Let's find out why the Warriors are really desperate to get Gary Payton II back in the lineup. Why would anyone get enamored over a point guard who shoots 20% from a three-point range? Well, this is the case of Warriors Director of Team Development, Ken LaCobe. And it all happened during the 2021 G League bubble, where the college elite basketball players face off against each other in a showdown to be selected for the biggest league, the NBA. Payton II, also known as the Mitten, ran with the Raptors 905, which was a team filled with remarkable scorers. Gary Payton II was the all-rounder, a 6-foot ball hawk who led the competition in steals, defending all 5 positions, putting down solid screens, rebounding quickly, and dictating the pace. This performance was enough said for LaCobe to take notes. Then, when the Warriors were due to finalize their roster that spring, LaCobe had already persuaded general manager Bob Myers to give Payton II a 10-day contract. From that 10-day contract, and less than a year later, Payton II is a rotational player, fan favorite, and candidate for the dark horse all-defensive team. Now, people can see what the Warriors see in him. In case you, or someone you know, is still in doubt about Payton's worth, all one has to do is look at the Warriors' performance in the last month. The Mitten has been sidelined due to a sore left knee. Since then, Golden State has gone 4-4, often lacking energy and defensive grit, which are 2 of Payton's greatest assets. Another powerful weapon in Payton's arsenal is his versatility. As head coach Steve Kerr tinkered with his rotations to make up for some key absences, perhaps the most he missed was how dynamic Payton truly is. With quick hands, a 38.5-inch vertical jump, and a 6'8" wingspan, Payton is a great asset for any staff. Even more, he's luxury for any coach. He's the type of player who can unlock formations by filling in any position, just like he did with the 905 in the G League, which was how the Warriors spotted him in the first place. Although the 29-year-old Payton II levels in height with Quinndary Weatherspoon as the Warriors' second shortest player, the Mitten has started several games this season as a power forward with Draymond Green out. On top of that, from time to time, Payton even matched 7-foot centers in the dunker spot, which is the area alongside the baseline, just outside the track where players wait for a driver's pass. Since Stephen Curry will miss at least 3 weeks with a left foot injury, Payton is positioned to take up post as a point guard more often. After returning to training in mid-March, while playing substitute in this position, it's a great opportunity for him to gain more court credit, thus value in the NBA. Guard Jordan Poole, who started the last 5 games in which he played with an average of 11 points and 2.2 steals, was able to give his notions on the matter of Payton II. And he was quoted saying, "Obviously, we want him to get healthy now. He just transforms our defense. He gives us so much energy. He brings a different dynamic to our team." As for Payton's vigorous versatility, that dates back to his senior year at Spring Valley High School in Las Vegas. With no one else on that team bigger than 6'2", he often played center. Much of Payton's time was spent setting up high screens for his teammate point guard and rolling hard to the edge for extra support. As he progressed through prep school, junior college, and 2 years in the state of Oregon, coaches stuck him everywhere they needed, whenever they thought it best. This benefited Payton's teams. It can be said that it also hurt his design stock. But versatility is key. Even his pedigree was diverse. His father was a member of the Supersonics in his early years, so he split his high school years between Spring Valley High in Las Vegas and West Wind Prep in Phoenix. The Mitten went on to play 2 seasons at Salt Lake Community College, helping the squad win the Region 18 championship and outright SWAC title in 2013 when he was just a freshman. Then as a sophomore, Payton II averaged 14.1 points, 7.9 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1.9 steals per game, earning him second-team NJCAA Division I All-American. He was then voted 2014 Region 18 Co-Player of the Year and Region 18 Tournament Most Valuable Player. After his sophomore season, he transferred to his father's alma mater, Oregon State. As an Oregon State Beaver, Payton II made the record books as the second Oregon State player to record a triple-double in a game as he dropped 10 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists on Grambling State. Here, he rose to feats of his father because the only other Beaver to record a triple-double in a game was Gary Payton Sr. That was the sure bet money on the table, giving Payton II reputation and proper respect as a tenacious defender. Then and there, it was determined that the mitten was from the same cloth, just like his famous father. In 2015, Pac-12 coaches voted Payton to the All-Pac-12 First Team, All-Pac-12 Defensive Team, and named him the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. After 2 seasons with Oregon State, Payton II decided to enter the 2016 NBA Draft. It was his diversified lifestyle and basketball IQ that ultimately made him the versatile player he is today. When it comes to a scout's eye, they tend to look for certain things in players of Payton's size: high shooting rates, track awareness, and solid passing, among others. Since Payton bounced between so many positions, he didn't have much of a chance to develop his point guard skills. And it could be said that this factor limited his chances, as in the 5 years since going undrafted in 2016, he played for 4 NBA teams and 5 G League teams. According to NBA analysts, inconsistent shooting kept him from creating a lasting niche. But whenever Payton looked at the Warriors, he saw a no-position basketball brand tailor-made for him. Is that merit or a flaw? Well, for the mitten, it seems like leverage for him to get in where he fits in. Yes, pun intended. Like a glove or mitten. When asked about his sentiments for playing with the Warriors, Payton was quoted saying, "I kept saying over the years that if I ever end up at Golden State, staff-wise, it just makes sense. You pay so much attention to Clay, Draymond, Curry, and these other great players. I can sneak around and do what I have to do." So, with Payton's aspirations to be part of the Golden State Warriors and his versatility, Lacob agreed, and together they made history. While studying Payton's 13-game stint with the Raptors 905 in the G League bubble, Lacob noticed all the hallmarks of a complementary player on a winning team. The fact that Payton was the Toronto branch's 8th top scorer might as well have been irrelevant. As a measurement of the mitten's ability to get in where he fits in, keep in mind that in 10 games last season with the Warriors, Payton spent 57% of his minutes on small forward, 41% on shooting guard, and 2% on point guard. Last summer, Payton rented an Airbnb near Chase Center so he could practice daily with coaches and show his worth for another contract. He has the drive, he's hungry, and loyal to the Warriors. At an age when some fringe players might be pursuing lucrative deals abroad, Payton volunteered to play alongside teenagers on the Warriors Summer League team. All those extra minutes reinforced to Kerr that Payton has the versatility he appreciates, and not only for being dynamic on the court, it goes beyond and shows a willingness to assist on and off the court. Then, Payton emerged as one of the Warriors' more reliable rotational players after beating Avery Bradley for last on the list. Golden State has scored 4.6 more points per 100 possession with Payton II on the floor than with him off it. And that's a truth that shouldn't be taken lightly. Payton's 102 defensive rating is the team's second best behind Andre Iguodala, who is limited to 26 games. Lacob was quoted saying, "I've probably seen Gary play in 100 G League matches in his career. Everything he did impacted the game at such a high level, without even touching the ball. Everything we look for in players, Gary embodies that." So with that in mind, just think about it. Can the luxury tax-binding Warriors afford to re-sign Payton in free agency? If Payton II isn't on their squad, how will they make up for his skills and fill that void that his absence would surely spout? Comment down below.